Queen Seondeok, also known as Princess Deokman, was the first reigning queen of the Silla dynasty. She reigned for 15 years, from 632 to 647. She was Silla's 27th ruler. She was the first of 3 queens to rule Silla. She is described as wise and generous in the record of the 3 kingdoms of Korea, the Samguksagi. She was the daughter of King Jinpyeong and Queen Maya of Silla. Her father, King Jinpyeong, had no son to pass the crown to. The king considered giving the throne to his son-in-law, Kim Yongsu, the husband of his other daughter, Princess Cheonmyeong. Hearing of this, Princess Deokman pleaded her father to give her a chance. Although women yielded power in Silla, having a female ruler on the throne wouldn't sit well with most officials. It's important to remember that during this time in Korea, Confucianism didn't have a major impact on society, so women weren't in a subordinate position. In the end, King Jinpyeong designated Seondeok as crown princess. In 631, Ichan Chilsuk and Achan Sokpum planned a rebellion, but their plan was uncovered. Ichan Chilsuk was publicly beheaded along with his family. Achan Sokpum escaped to Baekje, but returned disguised as a woodcutter because he missed his wife. He was found, arrested, and executed. In January of 632, Princess Deokman became queen, Queen Seondeok. It is said that her priority was the welfare of the people. She sent officials around the country to care for the orphans, the poor, and the elderly. The same year, she sent officials to Tang, China, to announce her ascent to the throne. Emperor Taizong refused to acknowledge her as ruler because she was a woman. In 633, she resent officials with tribute to the Tang Emperor. Taizong once again refused to acknowledge her position as a ruler. That same year, Cheomseongdae was built. It is still standing today. It's an astronomical observatory. It is said that it was built to help farmers. She exempted peasants from paying taxes, and the middle-class tax burden was reduced that year. She gained tremendous support doing that. Seondeok had to strengthen her rule against the male aristocracy. In 638, Goguryeo attacked Silla, but it seems like it wasn't all-out war. In 642, King Uija of Baekje attacked Silla, conquering 40 fortresses. A year later, in 643, Baekje and Goguryeo conquered Danghang Fortress, a very important fortress for Silla because it gave it access to the Western Sea and the Tang Dynasty. Queen Seondeok sent an envoy to Tang. Taizong basically ignored her by saying that he would send a male royal of Tang to serve as new king of Silla because her opponents didn't fear her because she was a woman. Seondeok promptly ignored the emperor. She instead sent for Jajang, a Buddhist monk who was in Tang for many years. He came back to Silla and advised the queen. He proposed that Silla build a big 9-story pagoda on the site of Hwarang Temple, Imperial Dragon Temple. Its construction was already underway since the year 553, and now all it needed was a pagoda. The queen accepted because she thought that such an important religious work would bring people together and show the people of Silla that the kingdom was still strong. The pagoda took 2 years to complete. No doubt it added an extra burden on the population through higher taxes, although it is said that the queen told officials that they can tear down her palace and use the materials if they lack the funds. The pagoda was apparently the tallest building in East Asia at the time. It was between 68 to 80 meters in height. Queen Seondeok visited often to pray for the strength and wisdom to save Silla from danger. During her reign, many temples were built, namely Bunhwangsa, Tongdosa, Woljongsa, and Magoksa. The majority we can still visit nowadays. Shortly afterwards, she appointed Bidam to the position of Sangdae-dun, the highest official position in court. The same year, Queen Seondeok formed an alliance with Tang. Tang accepted, seeing that Goguryeo strength was increasing. Taizong had to forget his original proposal to Silla. Let's not forget that at this time, Paekje and Goguryeo were allied and basically surrounded Silla. The Tang-Goguryeo War would rage on from 645 to 668. During Seondok's reign, though, Silla would not be involved in important battles. The year 647 was very eventful. In February of that year, several of her highest officials started a rebellion against her. Their leader was Bidam. He famously exclaimed, "The female king failed to rule the country, therefore women should stop ruling." Bidam started his rebellion when he saw a shooting star in the heavens. At that time, Seondeok was sick, and his shooting star was a sign of her impending doom. The queen sought the help of Kim Yushin, her cousin and army general. He famously led, years later, the unification of the peninsula by Silla under King Muyol. Kim Yushin flew a huge kite with a burning scarecrow attached to it. His plan was to make it look like the fallen star was back in its place. This sounds like a legend, of course, but in any case, in the end, Bidam's rebellion was suppressed by Kim Yushin and Alchon, another popular general, and Hwarang. The Hwarang was an elite warrior group during Silla. Hwarang are known as flowering knights in English. According to the Hwarang Segi, Seondeok had 3 husbands, but that isn't clear. Also, according to the Samguksagi, she married her uncle. But it is more widely believed that she didn't marry anyone to avoid political conflicts. Queen Seondeok died a couple days before the rebellion was suppressed. We don't know what her illness was, but we can say that Bidam's rebellion accelerated her physical decline. She is buried on Nangsan. Her cousin, Queen Jinpyeong, became the next ruler of Silla. Here are some interesting legends surrounding Queen Seondeok. The peony flowers in painting has many versions. Here's the most common one. When Seondeok was 7 years old, her father, King Jinpyeong, received a painting of peony flowers along a box of peony seeds. Seondeok took a look at the picture and remarked that the flowers were pretty but didn't have any scent. If they had a scent, she said, bees and butterflies would be flying around the flowers in the painting. The seeds were planted and flowers bloomed, and she was right. The peonies didn't have any smell. This story showed her intelligence and her ability to rule. Here's another story, the legend of Jigwi. This story has many versions as well. Here's the most common one. During the reign of Seondeok, there was a man named Jigwi. He was enchanted by the queen's beauty and longed for the day when he would meet her. His name made its way to the royal court, and Seondeok called for Jigwi to meet her at a temple. Jigwi waited for the queen under the temple's pagoda. He waited and fell asleep. The queen went to offer prayers and left. As she was leaving, she saw him sleeping. She left her bracelet next to him. When Jigwi woke up, he realized the queen had been there, but he missed her. His love for her reached such proportions that he combusted and turned into a fire ghost. In Korean folklore, Hwashin, fire gods, are worshipped to prevent fires. Therefore, Jigui's legend can be seen as him becoming the guardian spirit that will protect the temple from fires. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment.